Hey everybody, I once mentioned in a video how I use a hand warmer to keep my whole body warm essentially, and I was actually asked the other day if I could explain that in a little more detail in a video. So today we're going to go over all of my hand warmers. I have quite a few of them. They're nifty little gadgets and they come in really handy, no pun intended. But today we're going to go over all of them from my favorite to, well, my kind of other favorite, but I don't really use it, but we'll get to explaining what I mean by that. So the first one I use is my Zippo, and this is called a Zippo Heatbank, and it operates by turning it on. You hold the button for 2 seconds and then it comes on. If you see that blue light, that indicates that it is warming on both sides. And then you can go 2 power or 3 power, and then you click again and the light changes to green. And once it's green, that means it's only heating on one side. So you can have either one side heat or both side heat. Obviously with the one side heat, you're going to get longer battery life. The lower you keep it, the longer you're going to get battery life. So the maximum you can get out of this is about 9 hours on low. And then again, of course, you turn it all the way back. It goes back to 2 sides. And when you want to turn it off, you just press and hold for a few seconds and it goes off. Pretty standard stuff for little devices like this. But these are also power banks. They come with little USB ports in them, so you can use them to recharge your phone, or as I've talked about in recent videos, if you have a power outage and you've got a USB powered air pump, you can actually use one of these little power banks to keep your tank up and running. So the way I use this to keep my whole body warm, instead of holding it in my hand in this shape, as odd as that may look, is actually a very comfortable shape. And if you've got a smaller hand, it might not quite be so nice. You know, this is a little bit on the larger side, but fits my hand perfectly. But what I really do with it, and I'm going to try not to bang the microphone when I do this, is I just wear it around my neck. And then when you put a jacket on and you've got this little heat source against your body inside the jacket, you would be amazed at how warm that will actually keep you. I sweat when I go outside when I'm wearing this. Your core gets warm, and then to sort of dissipate your core heat, it sends all that warm blood out to your extremities. So it sort of tricks your body into warming your skin, and it really does make you feel a lot warmer when you've got one of these heat banks sitting right up against your chest and you've got a jacket or a coat or something on over top of it. They also work well, of course, if you put them in your pocket. You keep your hands in your pocket, or you can carry it around. When I get in the car in the morning and it's cold, I just kind of tuck this down between my legs and sort of sit on it a little bit, and that keeps everything nice and warm when I'm, you know, waiting for the truck to warm up. So that Zippo is my favorite. I've also got this one. Basically the same thing, just a slightly different shape. This one doesn't have any frills either. It just has the power banks. This only operates both sides. It has high, medium, and low. No frills, on-off button, basic little power bank. This is another one. This one is by Hand Fan, and I actually like this one a lot too, because this one is actually pretty small. It fits in my whole entire hand, so even if you've got a small hand, this will be very comfortable to hold. And this one, if you double tap the light, or if you double tap it, you've actually got a little flashlight built in with this one. It is also a power bank, so you can still plug in your little USB port and charge your phone or run your little Airstone or whatever. But this is a nice, nifty little one that's very small, and I like that little option of having that flashlight on there. So if I go outside at night or it's early in the morning, I'm going out to my car, it's cold, I got something to keep my hand warm, and I've got a little flashlight to use while I'm out there doing it. So those are all my battery powered heat banks, and those are the ones I really recommend, the battery powered ones, because they are the easiest to use and they are the most versatile. This one, however, is my favorite in the sense of how it actually functions. I don't use this very often because it's kind of finicky and it produces an odor and so on and so forth. But this is a catalytic heater, also made by Zippo. And if you'll see that, this little heater element right there, this is the burner as they call it, that little sort of fuzzy gray cottony looking material is coated with platinum and palladium, just like a catalytic converter. So you fill this up with your regular old lighter fluid. You just fill it with this stuff, and it gives you a handy dandy little bottle. You fill that up and then you use that to pour in there. So once that is full, you will then take a match or a cigarette lighter or something, and you just get this really good and hot, and then it begins to catalyze the hydrocarbons that are in there, and it just starts generating heat. This is an older one that doesn't work anymore. I just brought it to show you, and this is the actual little bag it comes in. And the reason it comes in a bag is because oxygen will make it burn hotter and faster. So if you just leave it out like this, once it's going, it will very quickly accelerate to being too hot to even touch. So it comes in a little bag, and how tightly you open or close that bag will sort of regulate how much it burns and how fast it burns. So I made my own little bag that's a little bit thinner material, that's a little more air in, and of course I made my little loop so I can wear this one around my neck too. But as these burn, and I did not bring a lighter in here to actually get one of these lit, but it doesn't matter. You can't actually see what's going on because there's no flame. This little element in here simply gets hot, and again, because of the oxidizing and the heat, it gets the whole thing warm, and the warmer it gets, the more the vapors rise up into it, and you get this sort of chain reaction, sort of like the way a candle works, except there's no open flame. It just sort of gets warm. It's a catalytic hand warmer. So these are good in the case where if you really didn't have any battery backup and you had a bottle of this stuff, this would last for a very, very long time. Again, filling this up to that line right there will give you about 6 or 7 hours of runtime off of this. So you can imagine how many days you could get off of a small thing of lighter fluid. So maybe a good idea if you're going camping and you couldn't take a way to recharge your hand warmers, because once the batteries wear down on those hand warmers, you got to plug them in, and it takes a few hours to charge them back up. Whereas when these go out, you just fill them up with fluid again, light them up, and they're ready to go. It's still warm from the last time you were just using it. So these are really neat. But I don't really recommend them because it is an actual catalytic burn going on there. It can get hot enough to be dangerous if you don't use it right. And when you're, again, if you're wearing it like I do, hanging down under your face, you're smelling all those fumes that are coming up in your face. So they are really neat, and I'm not going to discourage anybody from buying one of these. And they make a much larger size of this too. They make I think it's a 12-hour or a 14-hour, and then this is the 6-hour. So again, I'm not going to discourage anybody from buying one of these little Zippo hand warmers. They are really neat. But if you're looking for something that's like a neat little gadgety thing, or somebody that you know is like me that likes this kind of stuff, really neat little things. But if you want a good, reliable hand warmer that's going to be able to turn on and turn off, and when you get to work, you can just hit a button and turn it off and go back inside, you're going to want one of these little handheld battery operated one. And my recommendation is the Zippo Heatbank. They do make a swankier version of this where it's got a little digital readout, shows you how much battery life you have left, and I believe the swankier one also does have a flashlight attached to it. I'm not positive about that, but I think you can actually get a flashlight attached to one of these Zippos. So of course, links down below, all that. Don't forget, I am an Amazon affiliate, so while I am not sponsored by any of these, I do recommend them, and if you do make a purchase through my Amazon links, I do get commission off of that, so I can make some money and earn an income off of that, but I do not actually get any kind of sponsorship or paid promotional fees or anything like that for any of these products. This is all just my opinion. So check out those links down below. I'd appreciate it. If you're going to buy one of these, if you do use one of those links, I'd also appreciate that, because as I said, I do get a little commission on that, and that helps me out. So thanks for watching. See you real soon in the next one.